In the early 2000s, Volvo created a car that could have put the Mustang, New Edge, the GTOs, and everybody in their place. This thing here is the Volvo S60R. What you got was a turbo 2.5 5-cylinder mated to either an automatic or, well, a 6-speed manual. Let's also not forget this thing was all-wheel drive with 300 horsepower. Oh, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Volvo got some gems, bro. They hard as hell to find, but they do have some gems. This right here is the Volvo S80. It utilizes a 4.4-liter V8 transversely mounted. Yeah, I know you don't like transversely mounted, but this thing was developed by Yamaha. You know, the same people that helped develop the LFA. For those of you wondering what happened to the LFA, let me put this in simplest terms. The LFA was pretty much the most successful failure to ever come out of Lexus. Let me break that down. Basically, Lexus was taking a sweet ass time developing the LFA. They wanted to make sure suspension was perfect, aerodynamics was perfect, it sounded perfect, bro. By the time they released this vehicle, it was already outdated. The R35 was already whipping this thing's ass. And I already know what your snotty nose ass is saying right now. But Guru, what do you mean by successful failure? I'm finna show you. Even though the Lexus LFA project failed, its design cues, its styling cues transferred over to vehicles like the RCF, the LC500, such as this one right here. And that's pretty much the end of the story for the LFA. See, down south, you got to think twice before racing somebody with a big block, because more than likely it's a 468 stroker with a shit ton of nitrous. I'm talking about it's on more dope than Bobby Brown in the 90s. If you tried to make the same type of torque these things make naturally aspirated with, let's say, like a 5.3 or a 4.8, you will throw more rod than a elderly man on a gas station pill. Like, I kid you not, bro, a 250 shot on a built 454, that's probably the craziest combination in the world. You throw a Power Glide or a TH400 behind it, and you have an animal. Hell nah, bro. They call comp cams and be like, listen, I want a cam that sound like a constipated Taco Bell worker. Depending on how it's built and what fuel you're running, you can make 700 horsepower naturally aspirated with these 454s. I mean, think about it. You have a naturally aspirated big block under the hood of your Chevelle, or better yet, your Fox body, making the same type of torque it take to pull your mom's thong to the side. It'll take you about $10,000 and up to build a 454. The heads alone be like $3,000, bro. A good example of a 454 will cost you around $3,000 on Facebook Marketplace. You can literally find a 5.3 Gen 3 engine for about $800 to $500. You can find a really good one for around $1,500. Forge rods, pistons, man, ARP heads and main studs, LS1 intake ported, of course, or you can use a truck intake from an LS2 Trailblazer. Man, listen, you still won't come out as much as it costs to build a 454. Even with boosts, you still can get good gas mileage. You try this shit with a fully built E85 454, your ass gonna get about 4 miles to the gallon. You see, the G-Body has more in common with some of y'all crazy ass baby mamas. Bad for your health, expensive as hell, but you gonna get back in it again. It's probably the only car that you can invest probably $6,000 worth of suspension mods in, and it'll still refuse to go straight like Ellen DeGeneres after 12 shots of tequila. Oh, bro, this thing is about as dangerous as a Jack Pirtle's biscuit with no water, bro. You fighting for your life behind the wheel. The minute you take off, this bitch decides it wants to be a snake. Oh, bro, GM's execs were cooking in that office, bro. They had a lot of strippers in the office, reeling lines of coke off their ass, and was like, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a gangster-ass car, of which no car company has ever done. It ain't going to be powerful worth a damn. But what we will do is make this motherfucker nastier than a nun with a thong on. There's a reason why the G-Body, the Fox Body, and the S10 trucks are the big three. Simple. They're basically tin cans on wheels. You gut them, throw a roll cage in them, put a 383 under the hood of one of these G-Bodies, bro. A good 3 to 400 shot of nitrous, and you have a fucking unbeatable machine. This is pretty much GM's go-kart. And honestly, this is probably the last true muscle car that GM ever created. A time, where cars was untouched by just unnecessary electronics and shit like that. This has to be the last true muscle car.